Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day to you. Welcome to Bayou Sports Talk here down in the Bayou of Louisiana. I'm your moderator, Kim, and we have a great panel here with us today. We have Coach. Holla at him, Coach.
It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions Den Boxing community. Shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. First and
SU.
foremost, before we go any further, uh, big shout out to everybody that's been supporting us, that's been rocking with us since day one. For all my new subscribers, appreciate y'all greatly to the highest. Hopefully, y'all enjoy today's show, and hopefully, it'll prepare you for the big fight tonight.
All right, all right. We have another great panelist here before us. We have Ray. Holla at him, Ray.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Also a graduate of the great Southern University, A&M College in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Just here to provide my perspective and my ideas about the subjects that we're gonna discuss today pertaining to the sports, pertaining to, the boxing matches and the playoffs. So just here for my knowledge and the way that I view how some of these things will turn out.
All right, and SU all the way, another great alum. So we have three great alums here before you. So let's go ahead and get started. We have a great topic. Let's start with the boxing match. We have Tank versus Garcia. Ray, tell me what you think. Who are you rooting for, and who do you think is going to come home with the victory?
Who I'm rooting for Javante Tank Davis. I'm predicting this fight to be won by Javante Tank Davis via knockout. I don't think this is going to be a one-sided fight, though. I do feel like there's going to be a good bit of. I feel like it's going to be a good, entertaining fight. A fight that boxing fans were well deserving of and should have been gotten this fight. Um, I was watching a Shakur Stevenson, kind of like little interview video, and they asked him about this upcoming fight, about Tank fighting Ryan, and he was just giving his perspective about both of the fighters. And he said that, he mentioned that Tank gets hits a lot. And I feel like Tank does get hit a lot. He leaves himself open to get tagged. And I feel like Ryan Garcia's speed, will allow Tank to get caught a couple of times. But that's the thing why I give Tank the edge. See, Ryan Garcia has a lot of speed and, some pretty good technique, but he's not a very powerful boxer. And I'm kind of joking on him a little bit. I think Ryan Garcia is kind of a pretty boy. I kind of peeped out his Instagram like last year. He does a lot of the TikTok trendy stuff, which ain't nothing wrong with none of that stuff, but he just comes off as a kind of a pretty boy to me, you know what I'm saying? But Javante Davis, he from Baltimore, so he got that grit in him. So even though he kind of does get tagged a lot, he probably could fight through it. And I feel like Javante Tank Davis, his experience and his power and just that dog he got in him, I feel like that's going to allow him, to come out with a victory in this match.
All right. Well, Coach, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with Ray? Do you think and who are you rooting for as well? Because I'm unsure. Did y'all see the weigh-in and how they had this altercation going and whatnot? But first, I want to hear your thoughts on who are you rooting for as well. And I want to give shout out to Jared 011 Green. Thanks for watching. Okay, go ahead, Coach. We can't hear you,
Oh, I'm
Coach.
sorry. Before I start, shout out to my brother Jared 11 Green. Y'all gonna have to check us out Sunday on his channel. But in terms of the fight, I'm pulling for Giovanni Tank Davis. Uh, I think he's gonna win via knockout. But I disagree with Raymond from the standpoint of Ryan Garcia. He has a great deal of hand speed and a great deal of power. I think the issue for Ryan Garcia is uh, even though he has hand speed and power, he lacks good footwork. His lateral movement is terrible. Even though he has hand speed and power, he fights like he's standing in quicksand. And he only fights on the linear line and he defends on the linear line. Often he backs straight out with his hands down. That's gonna leave him vulnerable, uh, to some shots. Now he's right from the standpoint of the fact that Tank does get hit a lot, but in many instances, gets hit a lot by opposition he doesn't respect. A lot of those guys he fought, they were moving up in weight or whatever the case may be. Those guys, he didn't respect their power. So it's like, all right, hey, I could knock him out in the first and second round, but I don't want to deprive my fans. So I'm going to just kind of extend the fight. I'm going to get tagged a few times, which is stupid in terms of, ideology to me. But he respects Ryan Garcia power when they get in the ring. Ryan Garcia's big punch is his left hook. So he's going to be cognizant of that. Ryan Garcia is an orthodox fighter, whereas Tank is a southpaw. So, of course, you have a right-handed fighter against a left-handed fighter. So that's going to be one dynamic that we're going to have to watch out for. Like I said, Ryan Garcia's big punch is his left hook. Of course, Tank has power in either hand. One of his biggest punches is his right hook. So since they basically are orthodox fighter against a southpaw, some of the same punches that they have, they're going to have to watch out because, if Raymond is a southpaw and I'm a conventional fighter, he's going to be trying to use his right jab. I'm trying to use my left jab. So, it's a funny paradigm when you put a southpaw against a conventional fighter. And most fighters not fight, they're not accustomed to fighting against southpaws. So that's one thing we got to really look out for in the fight. Another thing I want to point out too, Oscar De La Hoya, who is Ryan Garcia's his promoter, he's a legendary fighter also. He said he thinks this fight can save boxing. I strongly disagree. I mean, back in my day, I don't want to sound like the old man of the group, but years ago, this would have been either a main event on ESPN Friday Night Fights, or it would have been a main event on HBO Championship Boxing. This is not a pay-per-view caliber fight. However, since it's boxing fans, we so starved and so deprived of the fights that we want to see. When we get a decent fight, we just go crazy. That's like, hey, if you in a desert and you had drunk water for several hours, when you finally get a bottle of water, it's gonna be the greatest bottle of water you ever had. And that's what it is in this particular instance. And more than anything, even though they're fighting this fight at a weight limit of 136, they both lightweight fighters, meaning they're in a 135-pound division. And the fact that both of these fighters have ducked Devin the Dream Haney, hopefully after this fight, whoever wins, the winner of this fight is going to fight against the winner of Devin the Dream Haney versus Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko, so we could clean up the lightweight division. But it's the sport of boxing. I think I would be asking for too much for that to happen. And like Raymond said earlier, both of these fighters are big name fighters. Ryan Garcia is like an Instagram model. He has I think 8 to 10 million followers. So his promotional company making it seem like he's a big star because of that. He has a lot of social media followers, but it hasn't translated over from a monetary standpoint in terms of pay-per-view buys and his interests. He's more of a celebrity than he is an actual boxer, whereas Tank, even though he's not fighting the best possible competition, his star power and his star status is in the ring in the sport of boxing, and then actually in the ring. He actually generates a lot of pay-per-view buys. So I think it should be a decent fight. I'm predicting that Tank is going to knock him out maybe 6, 7, 8 rounds.
Okay, so let me ask you this, guys. Do you think that maybe y'all may be underestimating Garcia?
Uh,
Well,
Go
well,
ahead.
well, well,
Go
I don't
ahead.
mean to cut you off, Raymond. Let me go first. I didn't say that Ryan Garcia can't fight. I say
No, I'm not saying that
no, no,
because
no, no.
maybe he may knock a Tank out.
Well,
That's what
he has a puncher's chance because
I'm.
he has hand speed, he has power. His lateral footwork and his foot speed is trash.
Oh,
So,
okay.
for real, if first of all, if Tank is only 5'4", whereas Ryan Garcia is 5'10", so he has the height and reach advantage over Tank. Now, if
Now weight class, they're both the same.
they're in the same weight class.
Yes.
They both
The
fighting in the
same weight.
yeah, they both
Mhm.
fight in the lightweight division. The now they fighting at a catch weight, which is 136. That means they basically fighting 1 pound over the lightweight weight limit.
Well,
But the
when they weighed in, they both had one. Uh, I think it was one. It was like one.
135, 136.
135. I think it was
But see,
135, and one had 135.5. So
but
they
see,
both.
see,
Uh,
the thing about it is they both lightweights. I mean, and the cutoff for that weight limit is 135. But
oh, okay.
they fight and fight. Since Tank is the A side, meaning he's the bigger star in a sport of boxing. He could dictate the terms. So the catch weight that they fighting at is 136 pounds. So it's only 1 pound over the weight class that they're fighting in. Now Ryan has gone up to 140 and fought a fight. Tank is going up to 140 and fought a fight. But Ryan, probably as big as he is, when he in terms of, once you make weight, you rehydrate, and he's rehydrated like up to like 160. So Tank has a clause in the contract where Ryan can only rehydrate and gain 10 pounds. So the most he could come into the ring tonight is at 146. So, but the point I'm trying to make is, I'm not underestimating Ryan. Ryan has hand speed. Ryan has power. The reason why I'm picking Tank, because Tank has more tricks in his trick bag. He has more tools at his disposal, and more than anything, I'm gonna just be honest. Both of them ducks in terms of ducking Devin Haney, in my opinion. But more than anything, Ryan Garcia is a hype job. I mean, he almost lost to Luke Campbell, so he can fight, but he's overrated, and I think he's gonna get knocked out. That's my opinion.
Okay, what do you think, Raymond? I know you in the beginning said that you expect that he was gonna get he will knock uh knock Garcia out, but do you think you may be underestimating him as well?
Uh, I don't think I'm underestimating Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has 9.7 million Instagram followers. I just went check while you were saying that. So he's close to having 10 million followers. But no, I'm not underestimating Ryan Garcia. Like, me and Coach both says, like, he has great speed. I ain't think he has great power, but Coach does think he have great power. He's a great fighter. You know what I'm saying? He is. So we're not underestimating him.
He's not a great fighter. I ain't gonna lie. He's not great.
Well, I didn't mean great
He a
fighter.
good fighter.
Now, when some people say great fighter, they think of Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. I'm not saying great
Oh,
fighter.
those are different categories.
Yeah, like that's like
Mhm.
great. When I say a great fighter, like it's like he's a good fighter. Like this would be a good.
Yeah, good fighter.
Yeah, he's he's a good fighter. But nah, we're not like I'm saying. This is gonna be a really good, entertaining fight. I believe this will be a good fight. And no, I'm not underestimating Ryan. I mean, possibly Mike could drop Javante Davis a couple of times. It's possible. But do we think that he will win? I do not think so. I just think the experience that and the dog that Javante Davis has will play a big factor in this fight.
Okay, and guys, we want to give another shout out to Billy Bob. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Okay, and as well, Jared says that Barrios, he was taller than Ryan, and he was knocked out by Tank.
No,
So
no. Yeah, Mario Barrios, he's a
Barrios. Okay.
140-pound fighter. And Tank moves up to fight him, for one of them JV belts. But anyway, he a little bit taller than Ryan Garcia, and yeah, Tank knocked him out. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think many instances in a lot of these fights, I think Tank, he could get rid of these guys in like the earlier rounds. He's a slow starter, and I think he intentionally kind of drags the fight along. He carries his opponent, and then at a certain point, with his hand speed and his power, he just knock him out. And like I said, Ryan has hand speed and power, but him being able to cut off the ring, him, having not having lateral quickness and good lateral footwork, and him defending and fighting on a straight line, that's gonna be a problem tonight.
Also, I kind of want to put this in as well. I know you said who your favorite fighter is. Mine currently is Shakur Stevenson. So I feel like that's someone else that the boxing community should watch out for.
Okay, so let me ask you this before we end with this boxing match. Did y'all see the weigh in and how Tank was riled up? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you seen one boxing press conference and one boxing weigh-in, you've seen them all. In many instances, the press conference is used to hype the fight, and in many instances, the win is used to hype the fight. I know Tank is from the DMV area, so I don't think he's as comfortable public in terms of public speaking. It was a good bit of trash talk back and forth between him and Ryan. Tank really didn't say much, and Ryan was like, "Hey, speak up, talk, blah blah blah, quit mumbling." And in terms of the press conference itself, I mean the weigh-in itself, basically just kind of using it to hype the fight. And like I said, I mean it's a good, okay, decent fight. It's not a pay-per-view caliber fight. My opinion is, like I said back in the day, this has been a main event on ESPN Friday Night Fights, HBO Championship Boxing. And I mean, I'm expecting a good fight. Somebody gonna get knocked out, and more than likely it's gonna be Ryan. And just to kind of finish it off, my last point to what Ram was saying, he likes Shakur Stevenson. They really been pushing Shakur in terms of, hey, instead of if Devin Haney can get by Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko and Ryan Garcia and Tank, hey, Shakur should fight Devin. No, if Devin and if Devin beats Loma, and who he should fight the winner of this fight tonight, because they're gonna fight a month from the night. So whoever wins these two fights, they should fight each other. So it's no more ducking. So if Tank knocks out Ryan, which I expect, and then Devin outboxes Loma, that should be the next big fight in the lightweight division. See, that's the problem with boxing. The best fighters aren't fighting the best fighters.
And haven't they been going back and forth for a while, trying to get this fight going?
You talking about the fight tonight?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Ryan Garcia, he's a duck. He's a hype job. He can fight, but he's overrated for one. He been supposed to fight uh, Devin the Dream Haney because he was Devin the Dream Haney's WBC mandatory. But what he did was he said, all right, once he actually beat Luke Campbell for the interim title and he was Devin Haney's mandatory, what he said is, I don't want to fight him. Now I want to fight Tank Davis, which is his opponent tonight. And basically, instead of fighting Tank, he tried to literally go all around. He ducked Devin Haney, he ducked Tank for a while. Now, basically, we at the point now, I think Oscar De La Hoya is ready to cash him out and just get as much money as he could in this particular fight. It's a big fight tonight. And truthfully speaking, they've been trying to fight each other for a while. Uh, Devin been trying to fight both of them for a while, and these two have been trying to fight each other for a while. So this fight is long overdue, and somebody's old must go tonight.
Because, and if you ask me who I enjoy boxing wise, I used to love to watch Roy Jones, and I have enjoyed watching Mayweather as well. But those were my great time boxers. That's, and you seeing Jimmy, senior, and see Coach in the past watching fights, that caused me to get involved as well. But and let me ask this question before we move on. Wasn't Roy Jones supposed to box with someone? There
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
match.
He has an exhibition fight with this big bodybuilder, MMA type guy. I don't know the exact logistics on that. I don't know if they pushed it back or it happened. I don't think it's happened already because I haven't heard anything about it. But at this stage in Roy Jones Jr.'s life, and at this stage of Floyd Mayweather's life, they should have taken care of their money to the point where they don't have to fight these exhibition fights. You shouldn't be in your late 40s and in your late 50s fighting.
Yes,
It's
and I
ridiculous
and
to me.
I I wouldn't even lie to you, Coach. I was in awe when I heard that, he wanted to come out of retirement and do this, because that was just, that's strange. That was kind of crazy, after he's been out for so long, you want to do that, and for anything, you want to be up to par, making sure that you're still boxing and still healthy wise and all of these things to make sure you can do whatever you need to do to maintain, your good status, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, in terms of first of all, in terms of your physical health, I mean, you want to maintain that more than anything. It's bigger than you have a life outside of sport of boxing. But technically, from their perspective, in terms of Roy Jones Jr., Floyd Mayweather Jr., since it doesn't count against their boxing record, technically they haven't come out of retirement because they're exhibition fights.
Well,
But
and I'm not talking about the record per
yeah,
se.
I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I agree with you from the standpoint it tarnishes their legacy because it's almost making a mockery of what you did when you were in your prime. It was kind of like, I don't know if y'all remember the old professional wrestler Ric Flair. It's like, he in his 60s and he's still wrestling. It kind of tarnished his legacy, based on what he did like 25, 30 years before that. So, once you fight way past expiration date, it tarnishes your legacy.
Well, okay, guys. So I don't want to hold you up any longer. Let's move on.
Hold on,
And
hold on. I never got a chance to ask.
oh, I'm sorry, Ray. Go ahead. Go
What
ahead.
was the question again? You asked. It was about the press conference.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right, so how do I feel about the press conference? Like exactly what Coach said. It's like once you watch one boxing press conference, you pretty much watch them all. So it's like I'll probably go on Twitter or Instagram or something, and I'll see like a 30-second clip of like the press conference and like pretty much
The
the
win, all of that, yeah.
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
the
press conference win, they all the same.
yeah, it's all the same. And me, I kind of don't get hyped about by the trash talking and like the person who sounds or looks the toughest, because I'm a huge fan of the UFC as well. So it's like the same thing with the UFC. Is like you probably got the guy that's talking the most, step in the ring, get knocked out first round. You did all that talking for what? You made yourself sound tough for what? So it's like, hey, just step in the ring, get it done. And me and Coach talk about this a lot. I'd rather watch the UFC over boxing. I like boxing too, but man, UFC is where my heart at. And I was joking with him one day, and I said, man, the UFC would pass up boxing. And it's like the other day I was calling restaurants and sports
Already has.
bars to see who was showing the Davis fight. A lot of them not showing it, but you could easily go to Buffalo Wild Wings and catch a UFC fight. So I don't know. It looked like it's kind of creeping up there. But the reason why I pull that up is because of all the politics that boxing has, that they're starving their fans of fights that they want to see. It's like, we just got the Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira fight, the second one. Like it took Dana White a couple of months just to put that fight, to put that rematch together. Like just say the Davis, well, I ain't gonna say just say it's going to happen today. The Davis and Javante Davis and Ryan Garcia fight happened today. Just say they want a rematch. It's going to be a whole lot of politics involved with just getting that one rematch. I know Devin Haney, when he fought what's his name?
George Kambosos.
Yeah, George Kambosos. The rematch immediately happened. So I kind of do feel like it is politics, but as well as the actual fighter as well, because Devin Haney and George Kambosos, they got their rematch immediately after the fight.
Well, it was a clause in the contract, so Kambosos couldn't get out of it. Really, he didn't want to fight Devin Haney. He really wanted to fight Loma. But you're right from the standpoint. I don't think it's creeping up. I think UFC passed boxing a long time ago, if you ask me, because like you said, you get all the fights you want. Whereas, in boxing, nobody wants to fight Devin Haney at 135. We never got an Anthony Joshua in Deontay Wilder fight. So I mean, all the best fighters, Bivol and Better Beef, we never got that. You can't get undisputed in the heavyweight division. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk can't fight. So it's like you can't get the fights you want in boxing. Whereas in the UFC, you get all the best fighters fighting the best fighters.
Do they have undisputed? I'm not undisputed interim champions in boxing.
Yeah, that's what Ryan Garcia was. He was the interim champion. He was supposed to fight Devin Haney for the WBC title because Devin Haney was the WBC champion. Ryan Garcia was the WBC interim champion. When he beat Luke Campbell for the title, instead of him saying, "All right, well, I'm gonna fight," I'm next in line to fight Devin Haney. I'm gonna fight him. No, he said I want to fight Tank. So the best fighters don't want to fight the best fighters. In the lightweight division, Devin Haney, he's the undisputed champion. He's the most duck fighter in that division.
Okay. Well, guys, and please, people, if you have Tank, please put it in our comment section below. And if you have Garcia, please put it down below. Let us know who you're going for so we could find out who's going to overcome tonight later on and see if we can call you out on that. So, okay, guys, and let's move on to our next topic, the NBA playoffs. What are your thoughts? I know our Pelicans didn't come on into the playoffs, but what do you think? Um, who do you have moving forward, and what are you thinking? Because we have some teams that were swept, and so Ray, let start me off. What do you think?
All right, so mentioning talking about teams that got swept, I literally was just watching the Philadelphia versus Nets game. So that's if you see me keep looking up, that's what I'm watching. So me, um, yeah, it's sad the Pelicans ain't make the playoffs, but I'm gonna keep that very brief because I could go on a rant about why we didn't make the playoffs. But I'm gonna just give my predictions, who I have going all the way. I really feel like the Bucks gonna go back to the finals. Giannis, I feel like he's emerging. He has already emerged as like a great, but I feel like he's really about to emerge as like pretty much the person who he's pretty much emerging as the next Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the person who could build a team around them and not. Even though LeBron James is my favorite player, I gotta admit, like he had to go develop a team, which it's kind of mandatory in this age. But Giannis, he just played the weight game. Like he assembled the team, and that team chemistry is like very great. But he just hurt his back in one of the games. So if he's not able to come back in a decent enough time, I got them are the Celtics from the East. And for the West, it's kind of up in the air for me for the West. I really would like the Lakers to go, surprisingly. But in the playoffs, I got Phoenix, and I got Phoenix beating the Clippers. I got let me go check all the matchups. I got Phoenix beating the Clippers. I got I got the Bucks beating the Heat, and I have the Lakers beating the Grizzlies. So that's like my predictions. But I'm predicting the Lakers to get to the finals from the West, and is either going to be the Celtics or the Bucks for me for the East.
Let me ask you, guys, this before we move to you on that, Coach. Do you really think that the Lakers are capable of moving forward? Because I watched how Davis, he fell and looked like he could even have possibly broken something or hurt something again, and because we know he is very injury prone. So would they even be capable of even moving forward to get to that point that they can win a championship again? Coach, what do you think?
Well, in fact, you go first, Raymond. I'm gonna give my thoughts after.
Okay. I mean, just like what I was saying with Giannis. Well, Giannis ain't injury prone, but Giannis got hurt. But I feel like it's all about the team that you have around you. And the Lakers, if you kind of notice the entire NBA season, they've been playing shuffle with their roster. They've been trading people, trying to make sure they get the right pieces. And I feel like they do have the right pieces. You have Mamba coming off the bench. You got Vanderbilt, who's a pretty good rebounder and defensive player. So it was times where they didn't have Anthony Davis, and they still was able to prevail on that team. Austin Reeve, who have stepped up when he needed to. So I feel like if Anthony Davis does get hurt, that really shouldn't hinder them too much. But just the playoffs, and what most players do during the playoffs is actually play while they're hurt and just give it their all. Some players, they just they don't play. Like tell me how many times we have seen Kawhi this playoff series. I'm just throwing that out in the air, but that shouldn't I ain't gonna say it's not gonna matter because Davis is a star player, but I feel like that really shouldn't hinder the Lakers too much.
Okay, coach, what are your thoughts?
Well, in terms of that, I have to strongly disagree with Raymond. Pretty much on any team, if your best player or your second best player gets hurt, that's pretty much it. You know, even though people talk about how great MJ was, if Scottie Pippen wasn't there, they wasn't gonna have the same amount of success. Jordan wasn't there, they didn't have the same amount of success. So pretty much, if you take the best player off of any team, and even though I think from a leadership standpoint, and in terms of what he's accomplished, LeBron James is the best player on that team, but they cannot win a championship or even advance to the Western Conference Finals without Anthony Davis. So I mean, they can't win without him. I mean, I know Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell and all of these guys, they playing well, but without Anthony Davis, they can't win out. They can't advance to the Western Conference Finals, and they cannot win the championship without him. So that's to address that. In terms of the playoffs, it's been some good excitement, but I've always been more of a fan of the back in the day, the best of five series, because I'm gonna be truthful. I'm one of these fans, even though I watch all the games, I enjoy the games. The first round, I'm just ready to get the first round over and get into the next round. But since we live in a day and age where it's all about sponsor, I mean, all about TV money, and you want more games. I mean, they went from this what the NBA went from. They went from a best of five in the first round and then once you get past the first round, it's the best of seven. Now it's the best of seven in all rounds. And in addition to that, you added in two playing games. So they went from just a best of five in the first round to a best of seven in all rounds to two playing games in each conference and an actual playoff best of seven for each round. So I think you can get to the second round quicker. It kind of tells you more. Whereas in the first round, I hate to say it, even though I'm enjoying the playoffs, I'm just ready to just get to the next round. But just to kind of go, like you said, series by series. Of course, I say this going into the playoffs. You know, 76 is going to smack the Nets. The Bucks going to beat the Heat as long as Giannis is healthy. In addition to that, the Celtics going to just easily dispose of the Hawks. And hold on, I'm missing one. Oh yeah, and even though Rude Dog picked the Cavs to upset the Knicks, I kind of agree with him. It can kind of go either way with that particular series. I'm gonna go with the Cavs. And on the Western side of things, like I said, the Nuggets just do away with the T Wolves. Uh, I think having Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns in the lineup together is a terrible idea. And not only that, you know, Raymond was talking about, the Pelicans and you, Raymond and K, y'all were both talking about the Pelicans. To be truthful, if they had a health design, they would be probably the top seed, but that's another story. But the reason I'm saying that is the fact that, one thing I don't like with the modern NBA is just so soft. Carl Anthony Towns is a 7 footer. He out on the perimeter like he's a guard. Bro, get your big behind on the block. There's nobody that could deal with him if he was actually get on the block and post somebody up. But he won't go out there and shoot threes like he's a guard. So the Nuggets gonna just get rid of the Timberwolves. I got the Lakers over the Grizzlies. I think the Golden State Warriors, even though, you know, I'm thoroughly impressed with De'Aaron Fox, because Rude Dog, if he was here when we used to play each other online in my league, 2K, he used to covet just De'Aaron Fox so much, and it's great to see him emerge, as a young emerging star. But even with that being said, I still think Golden State gonna beat them. And in terms of the big question mark series, if both Giannis and PG-13 were healthy, I would go with the Clippers. But since Kawhi is made out of butter, and he really don't seem to have any heart at this point in his career, and PG-13 he's made of butter, and instead of them calling Anthony Davis street clothes, you can call Paul George street clothes also. If those two are healthy, I will pick them to win the series over the Suns. But since I can't rely on them from a physical standpoint. I'm gonna go with the Suns to win this series, but the caveat is but. If we have a healthy healthy PG-13 and healthy Kawhi, I will favor them in this series, but I don't think that's gonna happen. In terms of who I think is gonna make it to the finals, if the Bucks, if Giannis is healthy, I say the Bucks is gonna make it to the finals. If he's not healthy, I'm gonna go with the Celtics. And like I said earlier, the best player, if the best player on your team, if you're in the playoffs, the best player on your team gets hurt, that's it for you. Now, in terms of the West, I know I'm gonna shock some people with this, saying I can't count on the Clippers because, like I said, if it's a healthy Paul George and a healthy Kawhi Leonard, I would favor them to come out the West. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think the Nuggets is getting the credit they deserve. A lot of people picking the Suns, but I don't think they have the chemistry they need. And plus, by you giving up so much to get Kevin Durant, they don't have as much depth as they once had. So I'm gonna pick the Nuggets to make it to the NBA Finals. So I think it's gonna be the Nuggets against either the Bucks or the Celtics, and whoever comes out the East, I say wins the championship. So if the Bucks come out the East, I say they win it. If the Celtics come out the East, I say they win it.
Ray, who you rooting for? Who do you think will be the possible champions?
I mean, I would have to agree. Whoever comes out the East, that's pretty much who's gonna win the finals.
Well, I want to know what's your prediction? Who do
Uh,
you think will come out the East
I was
and
saying
who will be out the West?
earlier, I had said that I got the Lakers coming out the West, and that the Bucks or the Celtics will come out the East. So, I kind of could see the Suns, but like you were saying, Coach, the Suns don't really have that chemistry, and I was just watching them. The fact that they kind of letting the Clippers hang around with them is kind of showing that they not as strong as they probably should be. Um, but yeah, I just think chemistry plays a big factor. And I don't know. I just see LeBron just I don't know. It's just something about LeBron in the playoffs that I'm rooting for him. So I got the Lakers and I got the Celtics or the Bucks coming out the East, depending on if Giannis is healthy or not. If it's a healthy Giannis, it's the Bucks. But I kind of got a question for Coach. Do you agree with the comment that I made that Giannis could be like the next Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, as in like the next, like how Kareem kind of built like a team around him with the Bucks? Do you kind of view that as the same thing with Giannis?
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you 100%. But it's the same, but it's different. The reason why I say it's different, it's a different league. Back then, see that this crap Carl Anthony Towns pulling, we shooting all these threes and all that in the perimeter. Had he played in that day and era, he wouldn't be allowed to go out and shoot jump shots. He would have to get his big behind on the block and shoot hook shots and fadeaways and up and under moves, whatever the case may be. And I think, people don't realize it, but back in the day, they had a pay-per-view, just like we got this pay-per-view boxing match tonight. There was a pay-per-view thing with Dr. J and Kareem. And people don't realize Kareem was a skilled big man for that day and time. If Kareem would have played in this era, he would be what Giannis is now. And if Giannis played in that era, he would be what Kareem was back then. So I think he is the next, like, even though he actually don't play on the block, playing and play out, he could get up on the perimeter, he can handle the ball, so on and so forth. Giannis, in my opinion, him and Embiid, they're the two preeminent and dominant big men in this day and age. So yes, I agree with him from the standpoint of Giannis is he definitely Hall of Fame worthy in terms of if he keeps going on the trajectory he is. He already got an NBA championship. Giannis, despite what people might say, you know, LeBron was that guy a long time. LeBron, even at this day and age, he's still a dog. But Father Time is undefeated. He don't have the physical tools and physical gifts he once had. The one thing I like about LeBron is the fact that he kept himself up in terms of his physical conditioning. Zion can learn a thing or two from him, but the fact that he kept himself up all these years, that's the reason why he still can go. But the point I'm trying to make is, in terms of Giannis has replaced LeBron as the best player in the league. I don't care what nobody say. Giannis is the best player in the NBA. And I know he get a lot of hate because he's a foreigner, but you got to give credit where credit is due. Giannis is the best player in the league. Period.
And he seems like he has great chemistry with his guys as well, and that's something that you need on a team as well, chemistry.
Yeah, and I mean the thing about it is he has great camaraderie with his teammates, and one thing I like about somebody like him and Dame Dollar or Damian Lillard, those guys, even though they play in smaller markets, unlike Zion and a lot of these superstars nowadays, he's not concerned about playing in the big market in the LA and the New York or the Chicago or the Miami. He said, hey, I don't care what nobody says. I'm not going nowhere. I'm winning a championship in Milwaukee. And he has done that. So I think if we had more players with him and Damian Lillard's mindset, these players not going to just go look to form super teams. They're not going to just look to go play in the big markets. They're going to be willing to do whatever it takes to win the championship where they are. And that's the thing I like about him. Is like he kind of got that old school perspective in terms of, I'm willing to go through the meat grinder and I'm actually, willing to build to get to that level. And if I don't get to it, or well, whereas, even though I've been a huge LeBron fan over the years, I still hated the decision and the fact that I feel like he circumnavigated the process of actually winning the championship, the organic way, as opposed to, hey, let me just go click up with my friends and we can win it like that.
And one thing I could say as well is like, I don't know if you could tell, LeBron is my favorite player, but I have kind of lost some respect for LeBron. Not when he went to the Heat, I actually liked it. I lost respect for him when he went to the Lakers because I felt like he didn't need to go to the Lakers. I felt like he should have actually stayed in Cleveland and retired there.
I mean, I agree with you from the standpoint of I felt like he should have left Cleveland literally the first or second time. The first time I understood somewhat, but once he won that championship in Cleveland, I already knew the first chance he got, he was out of there. And you got to realize, I've been to LA, I've been to Miami. I mean, maybe because I'm from Louisiana, I'm like a small town guy. The cities that kind of move me the most is like Dallas and Miami. That's like if I had to go live somewhere else, that's where I would live, which I wouldn't. But the point I'm trying to make is the size of the city really don't. I mean, you might have more restaurants to go eat at, more things to do. With me, it's more the vibe of the city. And I don't know what these guys see in these big markets. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know there's more endorsement opportunities, more sponsorship opportunities, more money off the court. But I feel like if you build a Hall of Fame caliber career, you can get that money wherever you are, whether it's Milwaukee, whether it's New Orleans, whether it's San Antonio, wherever. So, I mean, I don't know. That's why I say I like the ideals and the ideology of a Giannis or Damian Lillard. I like those guys. They more have that old school throwback. Hey, I'm gonna get out the mud mentality as opposed to, hey, we're just gonna form this super team and try to win the championship that way.
Well, nowadays things are different. Everybody want instant gratification. They want instant results. So, I think that's what the guys they were thinking. That was their mindset of putting a team together so they can win that championship, especially for those that did not have one. So, are there any other things that you would like to throw out there, or anything that you want the people to know before we close?
Go first, Raymond.
Uh, Anything that I want them to know? Not really. Just thank y'all for tuning in. Continue to support. Watch Coach 67 Sports TV. Catch him on YouTube. Watch all his videos. Pertaining to Southern football, basketball. We just thank the viewers and the subscribers and all the supporters, and hope you have a blessed day.
And how can the people follow you?
Oh, they can follow me. Underscore King Ray underscore on Instagram and Ray Swank on YouTube.
Okay, Coach. What about you?
All right. Uh, Today was a great show. I appreciate everybody on the panel. I appreciate everybody that's been rocking with us since day one. My brother Billy Bob, my brother Jared 11 Green. Of course, check us out on Jared 11 Green's channel tomorrow. for Southern Baller Show, where we break down HBCU sports. Also here on YouTube, I have a bunch of Southern University videos. I'm probably gonna do a post-fight reaction to the Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia fight. Probably gonna do that tomorrow. So keep your eyes tuned. And in addition to that, I have more Southern University content coming out. I'm just kind of happy to be, Southern University football analyst here on YouTube in terms of, breaking down they roster, so on and so forth. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal evening. Have a blessed, phenomenal weekend. We'll catch y'all next week. Same time, same channel.
Well, guys, thank y'all for watching. I would like y'all to like, comment, subscribe, follow, and share for more. And if you have anything that you would like us to talk about or any comments, please put it in the comment section below. And with the closing quote, but effort, nobody can judge that because effort is between you and you. So y'all have a great day and see y'all next time. Bye-bye.